Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 4. I know I just made a video. I'm actually going to upload 2 tonight, but the other one was getting really long, so I wanted to do another one. This one is actually going to be about breastfeeding. I know that there's a lot of people that aren't very educated on breastfeeding, and I'm not an expert, but I did have a rough time breastfeeding my son, so I feel like I kind of know a little bit more than the average person would. I practice attachment parenting with my son, you know, because I want him to always feel safe and secure. So I had a friend who posted a video on my Facebook of a woman breastfeeding an older son. He wasn't like 10 or anything like that. I'm assuming he was maybe 4 or 5. And then breastfeeding another baby that was probably 1 to 2 years old. If you don't know what that is, that's actually called tandem breastfeeding, and it's where you have a baby, you breastfeed that baby, and then, you know, they could be 2 years old, and then you get pregnant again. You continue breastfeeding through your pregnancy, and then you breastfeed both babies once the new baby is born. Now, in America, it's very, very unlikely for people to breastfeed past the age of like 3-ish. In other countries, children breastfeed until they're 4, 5, sometimes 6 years old, because that's their only means of nutrition. Here, breastfeeding is frowned upon. You know, if somebody's breastfeeding in public, anytime I see a mom breastfeeding in public, I always say, good job, you're doing a great job, because you know, I've gotten dirty looks when I had breastfed my son in public before, and it's terrible. You know, what am I supposed to do? Like, not let my child eat? No, I have to let my child eat. I'm sorry. And if you don't like it, why are you looking? You don't have to look. It's not like my entire breast is hanging out for you to see. You can't see anything because his head is covering it, you know? It's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I, you know, wanted to give up so many times because I had a lot of issues in the beginning, you know, the first, I would say, month or so, because my son had acid reflux. You know, we just had a lot of problems, and you know, moms that breastfeed, you know, we had to use a nipple shield until he was about 6 months old, and then I was able to wean him off it, and we ended up going until he was a year old, and he quit. But, you know, here in America, it's almost like it's frowned upon. And I feel like it's because America is very much about money. They want you to buy formula because, you know, have you seen how much a can of formula is? I honestly wouldn't even have been able to afford to buy formula for my son. It's so expensive. And just to make this clear, moms who feed your children formula, I do not have any problem with that at all. You know, in my first video, I even said that there had been a couple times that I had given my son formula, but unfortunately, my husband is actually allergic to soy. And if you notice, formula has a lot of soy in it, and it really upset my son's stomach. So I wasn't able to give him formula. We tried a couple different kinds, and it just really didn't work out. And, you know, I was really, really wanted to breastfeed. It was something that I was determined to do, and I'm thankful I was able to do it. But, you know, please don't take any offense to this video, because, you know, I know that there's women who want to breastfeed but they can't because they don't get milk. You know, some women have to go back to work, so they're not able to. You know, there's many different reasons why women don't breastfeed. So, you know, please, this is not like a bashing against formula feeding moms at all. I just wanted to kind of educate some maybe pregnant women who, you know, want to know a little bit more about breastfeeding. You know, the only difference between formula and breast milk is that, you know, from what I've kind of read, is that they can't mimic the antibodies that a mother's body has into formula yet. And if they can do that, that would be amazing, because that would really help a lot of kids when they're sick. or, you know, all kinds of things. You know, my son... Alright, my video got cut off for a second. So, sorry about that. What I was saying was that my son rarely ever got sick. He got sick after, actually, he was done breastfeeding. He never got sick before, like while in the first year of his life. I don't think he was ever sick. He got fevers from teething, but other than that, you know, it's really great because if I get sick, my body makes the antibodies to keep him from getting sick. So that's one good thing. Another good thing is obviously you're going to save a lot of money, because seriously, a can of formula is like $30, and I'm sure you go through that, you know, every couple days, especially once they get a little bit older. It's very expensive. You know, actually you can now write off, if you buy a breast pump or any breastfeeding materials, you can actually write that off on your taxes now, which is really cool because, you know, a breast pump is almost $300 depending on which one you get. The one that I have is, I think, $299. And now insurance companies are actually, if you, while you're pregnant, go through your insurance company, they will give you one for free, I believe. I don't know how exactly it works. Obviously, you'd have to call them and find that out, but I'm pretty sure that it's mandatory now. Not 100% for sure on that, but I think so. I know a lot of friends that have gotten breast pumps because of that. So, you know, it's just really good for them. I chose to breastfeed because at the time my sister had just had a baby and my stepmother had just had a baby, and both of them were breastfeeding, and they kind of encouraged me and, you know, told me the benefits of it. And you know, also the bond between you and your baby is great. You know, it's the first couple times that you breastfeed, it's a little bit weird because you're not used to it, and honestly the first week is really hard because, you know, you're not really used to a baby latched on all the time, so it kind of hurts a little. But once you get past that week, it's really not bad at all. And, you know, with attachment parenting, like we co-sleep. My son still sleeps with us. He's 2.5. With attachment parenting, breastfeeding is kind of part of it. And, you know, co-sleeping as well. I know that some doctors frown upon co-sleeping because of the risk of SIDS, but there are also studies that say that the baby will actually coincide with the mother's breathing, and it will help them remember to breathe. I'm not a doctor. Do not take my word on that. You know, please talk to your doctor before you co-sleep. Don't, just because I said it, please don't just do it. If you're pregnant, talk to your doctor about it first, you know, see what they say, and whatever you are comfortable with is what you should do, and what, you know, you and your doctor talk about. But my son is healthy. He's, you know, very smart. He still sleeps in our bed, and he's perfectly fine there. It'd be nice to have our bed back soon, but I know that these moments aren't going to last much longer because he's getting older and he's already not wanting to cuddle as much and stuff like that. So it's bittersweet, you know, starting to move him to his bed. I'm going to be really sad. Like when he stopped breastfeeding, I was really sad because he actually quit on me. I didn't stop him. I was hoping to go till he was about 2 years old, you know, but he just was like, I'm done. I'm over it. So we stopped at a year, a little bit after his first birthday. And there's a lot of, you know, a lot of women give up really easy because they don't have somebody to help them if they have some kind of struggle or this and that. Luckily, I had a lot of help. Now, while you are at the hospital, talk to the lactation consultant, because they will help you with your latching, with the different holds that you can do. They will answer any questions that you have. So, you know, just anything you want to know, ask them and they'll help you. My lactation consultant was great. Before I left the hospital, she really helped me. But then when I got home, I ended up getting mastitis, which, if you don't know what that is, basically you get a clogged milk duct and it starts to get infected. If that happens to you, continue to breastfeed or pump, because you have to get that milk out. It will not hurt your baby at all. It just means that you have a little bit of a clog there and you just got to get it out. But seriously, it will not hurt your baby. If you don't believe me, you can go ahead, ask your doctor. They're going to tell you to continue to breastfeed. You can do like a nice hot shower and just kind of massage the area, because it'll feel like there's a rock, like a really hard rock. So, you know, you have to kind of massage that out and do some stuff like that. And, you know, using your pump is great, because if your body responds well to a pump, some people it doesn't. If it responds well to a pump, then, you know, it will help pull that milk out as well, you know, as well as breastfeeding. I actually got it twice and it was terrible. And it was just because, you know, I was oversupplying and my son couldn't keep up with it. And then my stepmother actually gave me her pump, and then after that it was, you know, so much better. Make sure that you freeze the milk and have some stocked up, because if you're not comfortable breastfeeding in public, I never had a problem with that, but some people do, and that's fine. You know, some people are more private about it. I would say, you know, especially in the beginning, to pump and save it. I actually saw this thing the other day that was really cool. It said to put the time of day that you pumped that milk, because at different times of the day it's going to have different like hormones in it. Like at night it'll have I can't even, it's a word that starts with a T. I can't remember what it is right now. Tryptophan, I think. I might be saying that wrong. You know, the stuff that's like in turkeys that makes you sleepy. I think that's what it is, but I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But basically it makes them sleepy. So at nighttime you would want to give them that. Now in the morning, if you drink a cup of coffee and then pumped, and if it says, you know, I pumped this at 9:30 in the morning, you'll know, oh, I probably had coffee that day, you know, give them that in the morning. It was actually a really cool thing that I saw. I was like, wow, I wish I would have known that. I totally would have done that. But I didn't know, you know, I was a first-time mother. So, you know, make sure you have some saved up if you aren't comfortable breastfeeding in public, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you're a more private person, that's great. You know, for me, I don't really care, because if my son's hungry, I'm gonna feed him, and if somebody doesn't like it, I'm sorry. But, you know, boobs are actually meant to nourish a baby. They're not meant for any type of sexual activity. They're meant to feed babies. So if you can see a girl walking around with her boobs hanging out and short little shorts and this and that, but seeing a mother breastfeed offends you, sorry, something's a little wrong there. You know, it just drives me crazy. I actually did a breastfeeding photo shoot the other day, and it was great. The pictures came out beautiful. I wish I could have posted them, because they were just so beautiful. You know, the dad was even involved in the pictures, and it was really pretty. So if you guys have any questions about breastfeeding, you know, please, again, comment below, send me an email, whatever you want to do. Again, I'm not a doctor or an expert, but, you know, I do have some experience, so I can probably answer some questions. Also, you don't want to drink a lot of alcohol while you're breastfeeding, because I read that there, like, barely any alcohol gets passed to the baby, but it will make your baby sleepy. Alright, you guys are going to see me throughout the video keep stopping because for some reason it's saying that my camera is getting too hot, so I have to keep stopping. So sorry I keep making that weird face, like, because it keeps telling me my camera's too hot. So back to what I was saying. Drinking alcohol will make your baby very sleepy, and it's just not a good thing. You don't really want alcohol in your baby's system. You know, I had a few drinks a few times while I was pregnant, not while I was pregnant, oh my god, no, while I was breastfeeding. But it's just, it's not that good of an idea. But they do have strips where you can like pump and dump, which is another good reason why you should have milk on hand. Or even, you know, if you want to alternate formula and breast milk, you can do that as well. I'm gonna wrap this up because my camera keeps getting too hot and I don't want to ruin it because it's a very expensive camera. So again, leave any questions below. Send me an email. If you guys do want to see that makeup tutorial, let me know and I'll do one of those for you. I don't really want to make this a makeup page. You know, I might do one here and there, you know, maybe like once a week or every, you know, once a month or something, but I'm not really trying to steer towards that kind of stuff. I mainly just want to be able to help people with things. There's also a lot of good things that you can read on the internet about breastfeeding from La Leche League. They are really good, and also it's Kelly something. If you typed in breastfeeding Kelly something like that, it'll bring up something that'll tell you like what medications you can take while you're breastfeeding that will or will not affect the baby, different things like that are really good. So you know, I really hope that all women start to breastfeed if you can. It's very good for your baby. It's also good for you. It really helps with postpartum depression. Another thing that I want to do, if my husband and I ever get to have children again, we may not because we have some fertility problems, which I will talk about on another show, or another episode. Sorry, this isn't really a show. I want to encapsulate my placenta because that also will help with your milk production, postpartum depression. It helps make your milk very healthy. There's all kinds of benefits to it. It is a little bit pricey, but it's very worth it. Another thing that we did that is very pricey is we saved our son's cord blood. You know, if you do some research, I don't, you know, I'm not a doctor, but do a little bit of research about saving cord blood because it can save your child's life. The reason that my husband and I did it was because when we were working at the restaurant, we actually had a family whose son or daughter got, I think, leukemia, and if they would have saved the cord blood, they would have been able to save their child's life, but unfortunately they didn't, and their baby passed, and I'm so sorry about that it just breaks my heart. Now there's affordable ways to do it, like we put $500 down and then we paid monthly, and then like this past year we just paid the rest off. I think we had like I don't know, $600 left or something. We just paid it off, and then you pay like $125 a year just for them to store it, which, you know, really isn't that much. It's like 10 bucks a month or something. I don't know the exact math off the top of my head right now. So it definitely is worth it. So look into that, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna think about what I want to talk about next. And again, formula feeding moms, please don't take any offense to this. I have nothing against formula. Like I said, my husband's allergic to soy. I couldn't do formula for my son. It really upset his stomach. So we chose breastfeeding, and it was just the better option for us. And it will probably have to be the option for all of my children if I have more, because my husband's allergic to soy, which causes a big problem. He's allergic to everything, I swear. So thank you all for listening. I hope that, you know, this kind of gave you a little bit of information about how great breast milk is and about the bond that you can get. So I will... Okay, cut off on me again really quick. I hope that this video gave you a little bit of information. I hope that you know, you were able to learn about the bond that you can get. Do a little bit of research about either breastfeeding or attachment parenting, cord blood, placenta encapsulation, all that kind of stuff, because it's really cool. And it's really, really good, especially if you're somebody like me who has very high depression and anxiety. It really helps. So thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Please leave me some comments and subscribe. All right, good night.